things are not looking good here in the crypto market. I've not got much good news for you. You need to be prepared for some more pain. Altcoins melting down as we speak here to start off the week. And could we be losing all a semblance of support? Could we be heading down to some painful price targets? I'm going to break down exactly what am I seeing in the charts and how I'm navigating this market. For many of you guys, you may have just entered when the markets were really excited up towards 70k and even at all-time highs towards 75, and maybe now you're starting to feel the pinch. I'm going to let you know what you can expect from this pullback and a lot more. If you appreciate these type of updates, smash up the likes. If you want to trade with us, jump into our Telegram group. Just hit another take profit this morning at another 12% spot returns just at take profit 1, and this is slow systematic trading. If you want to learn how to do that, get into our Telegram link. It's the first one in the description below. So straight away here, guys, what do you see here on this weekly chart? You see a big ugly M pattern. Bitcoin, needless to say, failed to hit an all-time high on this leg up after bouncing from the EMA ribbon, and now we need to be prepared for a little bit more volatility. And the reason we're going to get volatility is because there are going to be people who start to become in the red, and these are not your long-term holders. I mean, anybody obviously who's been in the market for a handful of months even, let alone 1 year, etc., is in huge profits, right? You're in the green. You're fine if you're buying at 15,500. You're fine even if your cost basis is 45, 50,000, fine. It's these people who are FOMOing in at the top. And these people who are foaming on the top, roughly speaking, are now down 11%. And if you think about it, if you were a new investor and you've just started investing, DCing into this thing that everybody and the YouTubers and all these people were moonboying you and telling you that this thing is going to go up to 150,000 and then 200,000, like Bitcoin's going to be unstoppable. And so you bundle in a load of money and now you're down 11%. You start having to make decisions, right? And now maybe you watching this video here, you have more conviction. Maybe you've watched my videos for many years, or maybe you're new to this channel. And if you're new to this channel, maybe you're feeling some of those emotions. Maybe you're looking at your portfolio, you put some money in, and now you're 10, 11% down because you FOMO'd in at the peaks. What's your decision going to be? You've got two options, right? You either panic sell, you realize a 10% loss, 11% loss, or you're patient and you hodl. And so for many people, well, for every single person who's ever hodled Bitcoin, who never panic sell, they've always turned out to be okay, right? Even if you bought at 69,000 here in the peak of November 2021 and you held all the way down to 15,500, it would have bounced all the way back up towards 74,000 at the all-time high. So you were in the green. Now, couple that with hopefully you were bringing your cost basis down, because from the market, if you entered at 69, guess what? You were still in the market all this period. You should have been bringing your cost basis down, right? You should have been taking some nibbles at 30,000 and some at 20,000 and hopefully some at 15,500 if you weren't too scared. And so guess what? Your cost basis wouldn't have been 69, even though your first cost basis was 69 back in November. And so the same's going to happen here. Hold up. Do you want to learn how to trade? Then you need to jump into our Telegram community. Link is in the description. In our Telegram community, I share my altcoins. I share how I do my trade setups, how I do my stop losses and take profit, so you could learn to become a profitable trader. Check it out. Link is in the description. The same will happen for this peak here. Are you going to be that person that bought in at the peaks and then sells at 10, 15, 20% loss and panics and says, oh, look, crypto is a scam. I told you it's rubbish. Or you're going to be like, you know what? It is what it is. I bought a bit of an extended point. I've learned my lesson. I mean, it's a bit silly for me to buy on an extended move that was as high as 166%. Okay, fine. Lesson learned. I should have bought on pullbacks. Fine. I didn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be patient and I'm going to wait for the pullback, and I'm going to understand that markets has cycles. And if this wants to pull back, I'm going to try to lower my cost basis. If we come into the EMA ribbon at 61, like I've said to you guys over the last handful of videos, I'm nibbling. If you want to come deeper into that weekly EMA ribbon towards that 55 level, I'm nibbling. If we come all the way down into the depths of this EMA ribbon, which is going to be painful, by the way, guys, I'm buying at 50,000 flat here, deep into the EMA ribbon. Because for me, those have always proven to be beautiful purchases when I'm buying deep into the EMA ribbon, not chasing the FOMO. I mean, if we take this the same example here, had you have bought in the bottom here, you're buying in at prices at 29,000, 30,000 versus 64 up here in the peak earlier in the year. And that's what you want to get a habit of doing. Even if you did make the mistake of FOMOing at the peak, do the the equivalent good thing and buy at the depths as well. And that's going to bring your cost basis in half. It's okay if you bought some at 60. If you buy some at 30 and 40 and 50, you're going to bring that cost basis down. And I think that's one of the rules that a lot of new investors really struggle with. They chase in at the top, they see their portfolio going down, they take their phone and they're checking and they're checking and they're checking and they're like 10% down. Oh, and then they're like, okay, it's gone down some more. I mean, take this as an example, right? So you're down here 11%. If this comes down into the EMA ribbon, which I'm fully expecting, those purchases are down 16%. If you go into the middle of the EMA ribbon, which again is very, very likely, 25% down. And that is where you start to get capitulation, because that's just on Bitcoin. But the reality is, we know that not everybody just buys Bitcoin, they're buying all these altcoins, which capitulate much faster. So that is how, when Bitcoin's down 20, 25%, which we guys, you know, if you've been in crypto for a while, that's okay. It shouldn't shake you out if Bitcoin's down and corrects 20%, 22%, right? It happens. But when your portfolio is bundled full of these meme coins and altcoins, guess what? That 20% fall on Bitcoin is actually an 80, 75% on altcoins. And that is what's giving you the finishing blow. It's the fact that you don't buy your veg and your portfolio is misallocated. And I can scream at the top of my lungs into this microphone, but until you've gone the hard way and learned the hard way, you're never going to learn. The number of messages I get from people go, you know what? I'm an idiot. And they actually say it. I'm an idiot. I'm like, why? And I already know the answer. I bought all these silly meme coins and now I'm down here at this price. Okay. Did you DC any Bitcoin? No. Did you DC any Ethereum? No. Did you DC any top 10 cryptos? No. Did you DC any top 20 cryptos? No. So you're just a gambler. You're just gambling in the market. And there's a big difference. And we need to understand there's a big difference between an investor and a gambler. And that's the point here. Yes, crypto is volatile. Yes, it's the most volatile asset class we know. But that's equally why it's going to create the life-changing opportunities. The life-changing opportunities are not in the S&P and the NASDAQ. That's just for the rich people to preserve their wealth and to make sure they're beating inflation. For people who need to change their life, you need a volatile asset class. Right? Which is why a lot of the people who are trying to change their life come into crypto. In the future, it'll be another asset class. There'll be something else that's created, you know, whether it's NFTs, whether it's things beyond that. There'll be other asset classes where people want to invest in, where that is creating the volatility. Because ultimately, the lower class people want to achieve financial freedom and they're looking for a volatile asset class that can give them the 10x, the 100x, the 1000x they need. Once you're rich already, you don't need to take that many risks, do you? You don't need to be in meme coins. You don't need to be in the bottom 100 altcoins. You can sit in the top ones. You can have stock portfolio. You can have a real estate portfolio and you can manage your wealth, right? But I understand if you're watching this video, chances are you need to make those changes. You want a more drastic return, which I understand. But do so with one foot eating your veg with your Bitcoin Ethereum. So that way, when you have periods like this, which could be a bigger pullback, you're okay. It stops you from panicking. You look at your portfolio, you're okay. It's not the end of the world. Thank God I bought some Bitcoin, which is only down 1.66% versus a Phantom, which is down 7% today, versus a Uniswap, which is down 8% today. But of course, the Phantoms, the Uniswaps, these coins which are down 8% today, when Bitcoin's only up 1%, they're going to be up 10%, 11%. They have that ability to pump, which is why, of course, you want a diversified portfolio. Hopefully this makes sense to you guys. If it does, leave me a comment below if this resonates with you. So, look, guys, I'm not going to lie to you, right? We've lost daily support here. We've lost our daily EMA ribbon. We've lost our 4-hourly EMA ribbon, right? We're below our 4-hourly EMA ribbon as well. Things aren't looking strong here. I'm expecting a pullback into our weekly EMA ribbon to get some semblance of support. Look at this on the 4-hourly. Now, don't be surprised to see a little bit of a relief rally. Maybe we hold some support here. We kind of get ourselves jogging back towards the EMA ribbon, something like this here into the EMA ribbon before we maybe get rejected again. We got a lot of work to do here on Bitcoin on the short term. If we want any recovery here, we need to get to our EMA ribbon, get back above it, start working our way, then eventually we're going to reclaim our daily EMA ribbon and we can start working our way up. But if you remember, just like these lines show from a previous video which I made, we failed the double top pattern, right? We didn't get a higher high. We got lower highs, and that's a problem because support really doesn't come in here on the daily chart until we start coming into that 60k territory, right? That's your real solid support here. Kind of if we took this line and extended it, that's where we're at. So we're breaking down back into this pattern, which at one point we were hoping we were going to break out and get an extended move to the upside. Now, I'm not going to end this video in all doom and gloom. There is one saving grace, which I have to share with you. Take a look at the pre-market here in the US. It's not doing too bad. S&P looks to add to a record, right? The markets are actually okay. And in fact, there's another slight piece of data I want to share with you, which is this. If you jump onto the Fed rate monitor tool, I just noticed this over the last 24 hours, 12.4%, which is not, you can't rule it out. It's not crazy high, but you can't rule it out. 12.4% of the market has gone, you know what? We might get a rate cut in July, which is very, very interesting, because if we get that rate cut in July, that could be a shock boom to the market, right? That could really give us the pump and the excitement we need. But realistically, do I think it's going to happen? No. I think July is too soon for a cut, but at the same time, it's showing that the market's not ruling out the possibility. Now, granted, there's a long period of time until this meeting. There's another 6 weeks. There's more data to come out. There's more data points for us to take into consideration. But the reality, like I've said time and time again, is whether we get it then, whether we get it in September, we're going to get a rate cut, right? Markets are going to move on. They're going to understand that, you know what? This steepest rate hiking cycle, which we've ever seen, is over. This battle against inflation is pretty much coming to the final innings. And so if I'm trying to decide, and again, investing is not about finding the perfect time. It's about generically being right. Am I buying at good times, and am I selling at good times? That's what it's about. And so it's now a time for me to panic out of the market when we're going to enter a period of loosening monetary policy. That's a hard no from me. I'm not leaving this market right now. In fact, I'm actively wanting to do the opposite. If I can get Bitcoin at that 25% discount, if I can see a pullback into that weekly EMA ribbon where it's like, below 60,000, 55s, I'm going to pull the trigger on those buys. And similarly for my altcoins as well, because remember, altcoins are going to fall by much more. So I'm going to be looking at my portfolio actively. I'm going to be like, okay, do I have enough Phantom? Do I have enough Solana for this run? Are there any other new altcoins that have proven themselves earlier this year, which I want to look at? And again, if you want me to do a breakdown of which altcoins I want to be DCAing if Bitcoin does indeed pull back into the EMA ribbon, then let me know in the bottom. Put capital letters altcoin video, and I'm going to make that video for you guys. If you appreciate that type of content, smash up the likes. As always, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.